Hi all, welcome back to my channel. This is Uday from ecsmf.com. In this video, we'll be discussing with Amit More with regards to Finzi and P2P lending and certain comparative methods or topics which will be discussed with regards to how you can become a smart bank yourself by investing through Finzi. So what are we waiting for? Let's watch the video.
We have Amit again briefing about a new way of thinking for an investor. This time around, last time around, we have discussed about the comparison between Finzi product as well as mutual fund. Now we are comparing Finzi with a bank, how a client through Finzi can become equivalent to a bank. Hi Amit,
Hey,
welcome
thanks,
back
Uday.
again.
Thanks for having us here. Hi, everyone. Again, a wonderful opportunity to talk to everyone to explain some basic concepts, which might be basic, but are actually pretty revolutionary, I'll say, from the context of traditional financial investments. So, Uday, last time we discussed about the comparison with mutual funds, how an investor in peer-to-peer lending or Finzi should look at the investment more like a mutual fund investment. Uh, we will quickly try to explain, as you said, that how Finzi makes or gives an opportunity to every lender to become a bank. Okay, and we'll see how a bank makes money and how Finzi gives an opportunity to these investors at a very granular level to become a bank themselves. But before we start there, I think let's quickly run through, which all of us know, but just for recap, that what are the different financial investment options. And the key takeaway from this will be that where the money actually goes and sit when a investor invests this money. So today, the investment options are broadly either debt or equity. I'm talking about financial investments. I'm not counting real estate, gold, and other things. Within debt, you have banks, savings bank account, current account, fixed deposits. You have corporate deposits, NCDs. You have mutual funds, which are debt scheme, long duration, short duration, FMPs, liquid funds, and everything put together. So this is one broad chunk. In equities, like we have listed equity, which is the mother of all product, and we have unlisted equity, which has become more prevalent now, with people investing in pre-IPO companies on startups. And the third is obviously the mutual funds, which again, there are very thematic funds. Broadly, in debt, the advantage is stability of returns. I know what kind of returns I'll make, but the disadvantage is that the returns are low. In equity, the returns can be high, but at the same time, the negative is that the returns are volatile. Okay, this we all know. But let's look at another parameter, that where does this actually money go? So wherever, whoever, any financial institution or financial manager who raises this money has to put this money to work to give returns to the end investor, right? In case of equity, so we have classified investors into two broad categories. One is retail, and another is corporate. We are not counting projects and other things into the projects, and all will all come under the corporates. All the debt money, whether from banks or from corporates or mutual funds, goes to either retail lending, which is home loans, car loans, credit cards, personal loans, all of these put together. And the large chunk goes to the corporates. Okay. On the equity side, whenever you are making an investment, the money entirely goes to only the industries or into the corporates. Now, what we need to understand, Uday, and all the dear investors, that retail assets are the most sought after uh, asset in the entire financial gamut, primarily because it reduces the risk. When you are giving money not to one corporate but to thousands of retail individuals, your risk reduces. So we will just now focus on how do the banks make money. Okay, we just took one slice of it on banks, stability of returns, and retail investors, and we see how the banks make money out of the money that you have given to the bank. Okay, which is in form of savings bank account, current account, fixed deposit, and agreement. When you give money to the bank, banks kind of give you a saving bank account rate of up to 4%, which is obviously much lower right now. A current account doesn't yield you anything. Fixed deposit used to be 6% in good old days. Right now, it's anywhere between 3% to 5%, 5.5%. For a smaller banks, it might be 6% also. When banks take money, banks, what do they do with this money? They onward lend, right? They give it this money, and they're focusing only on retail. So your car loan, your home loan, your vehicle loan, everything put together. Now home loan rates have come down to 7% and the vehicle loan is 9%. But we have just taken, for simplicity perspective, that the average rate of return on loans that is lent out by these banks to the end individual is 11%. And the average cost is, say, for the bank is around 5%. Okay. So 11 minus 5, the 6% is the operating margin for the bank. Now, within the 6%, they have to fund the entire branch cost, checkbook cost, ATM machine cost, their corporate office cost, the provisioning for the losses on the investments that they're taking. Now, this provisioning is very important, okay? Because if a customer doesn't pay on a home loan or on a credit card, then banks run the risk. So the default risk on all of these assets is with the bank. And that kind of gives you a protection that your return is, though low, but stable return. When we go ahead, we'll see that the default risk is with the bank of the loans, and banks in a way kind of give you stability returns and low returns. Banks will remain profitable as long as their operating margin is more than the expenses and the default risk. So this is, in a very, very simplistic way, a representation of how banks make money of the money that you have given to the bank. Now, what we are trying to do at Finzi.
One more thing which they make money also, which is the compounding effect, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Savings account is 6 monthly and FD is quarterly, whereas loans and all are monthly, if I'm not wrong, right?
That is also true. So obviously, when we are taking that operating margin, the weighted average cost of the capital and the weighted average return that you get out of the loan, the net of it is basically, so that includes the compounding effect that Uday just also mentioned. So Finzi gives you a chance to become the bank, where it puts you directly in touch with the retail borrower. Okay, and this is the most sought after asset class. As I explained to you, all the smartest of the banks in the world are running after retail assets. We know HDFC Bank, why is it valued excessively or more than any other bank? Obviously, they're focused on retail assets, or a Bajaj Finance. So we JP Morgan or HSBC worldwide, we have seen. We are trying to bring you in touch with the retail customer. Now, default risk is the element, right? That default risk, earlier the bank was taking, but because there is nobody here to take default risk, and Finzi, though it's party to the agreement, but it's not allowed to take default risk because RBI doesn't allow it to. The default risk is passed on to you, but with that comes also the higher rate of return. Okay, so what you were earning only 4% earlier, now entire 11%. Whatever a borrower is paying, with complete transparency, comes directly to you. Now, this is the job that Finzi does, but at the same time, you will say, hey, I don't have the capacity to understand the risk. I do not know how to manage this risk. A bank has a credit risk department. A bank has a lot of other means to kind of manage risk, but we do not know. This is where Finzi plays a role. Finzi attracts borrowers. Finzi does the KYC of the borrowers, does the credit assessment, CIBIL check, bank account statement of the borrowers, and the rejection rate is 96%, which means that out of these 100 borrowers that come to Finzi as somebody looking for loan, only 4 people actually get a loan. The 96 people get rejected because either their KYC is not correct, either it's an identity theft case, or some wrong representations have been made. this is a very, very important parameter, that whatever a bank does, the credit risk department of a bank does, Finzi does it on your behalf. Okay. The second thing that we do is that the money is not given to, your money is not given to one particular borrower. It's not given to 5, it's not given to 10, it's given to almost hundreds of borrowers. Now, this in a way, one, we have already screened the quality borrowers for you. Now, of those quality borrowers also, you are not, your exposure is spread across tens and hundreds of borrowers. So the default risk actually becomes very, very granular. And Finzi, what Finzi does is it manages the entire life cycle of your investment. Like the money is invested, it can be reinvested, it can be, the EMI is collected, and if there is a delay, then there is a recovery process which we follow. We try very hard to make sure that the money is recovered. That entire thing is done by Finzi. And the result of this is that it doesn't, Finzi doesn't make you a bank, it makes you a smart bank. Okay. Because the default risk has now become a granular default risk. So if and to add to it, the rate of return that was 11% actually has gone to not 12, not 13, but you can expect on an average up to 14% rate of return. Now, even if there are so there are charges that are payable to Finzi, there are charges, there are defaults that will happen. If you net of that as well, then also there is a very high probability, and this is kind of we have historically proven as well, that most of our investors make return in a range of at this point in time, I will say double-digit return, which is much better than anything that a 4% or a 3% or a 5% kind of return that the current fixed income products are yielding. So Uday, it might sound risky at the outset that I am giving money to an unknown person, but when you bring along the credit assessment, the rejection rate, the granularity, the entire life cycle management, the recovery process, and then you look the things in perspective, and also the historical performance. So all of these things put together helps the lender or the investor to give an opportunity to become a bank. So in my view, this is a wonderful opportunity for all of you to consider Finzi to be a part of your portfolio. If not, obviously, I will never recommend to put 100% allocation. That obviously Uday will also not recommend, but it has to be a part of your portfolio. Experience it yourself. Start small, start as per your appetite. Choose the risk category that you want to invest in. There are different risk categories that are available for you to invest in. And then once you are comfortable, then you can start increasing your exposure. Uday, I hope this makes sense, and happy to answer any question that you would have.
No, I think you have covered the whole thing actually. Meaning, it's really, always been, it's always been pleasure actually having you with us with regards to briefing, new ways of thinking when it comes to investing through Finzi actually. Yeah, so this would be one amongst the coming when we start for the coming videos wherein we can keep briefing about the Finzi asset allocation strategies and all those things.
Definitely.
So maybe in the coming videos we can work towards briefing about asset allocation strategies of Finzi and how client can be feeling safe investing via Finzi. That would be a very good
Wonderful.
video session.
So obviously, Uday, we will take these questions in greater detail in the forthcoming sessions. Finzi does a lot of things. The algorithm is strong enough to make sure that your money is well diversified and well distributed. We'll talk about it in greater detail in the coming sessions. But come experience this product, and I'm sure that you will love, like thousands of other customers who are already associated with us. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Amit.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Now that you know what is P2P lending as well as how you can become a smart bank using the Finzi channel, we have a separate page for the P2P lending itself. If you want to know more about P2P lending as well as Finzi, you can follow the description below, wherein we have a specific link which is meant for the page itself. And if you need more help on knowing more about P2P lending, you can always send us a mail on support@ecsmf.com, which is also mentioned in the description box. Plus, in case of anything needed, we are always there. Just you need to log into ecsmf.com. So please do like, share and subscribe our videos as well as our channels, and follow us in all the social media platforms. And for any mutual fund investments, we have a separate app as well as website. Please use our app as well as download our app, which is very user friendly. Thank you, and thank you once again for watching our video.